Good evening, everyone. How you doing? So welcome to this week's One Image My Edit. And this week I'm going to be showing you a brand new feature that is in Photoshop. It's a really, really simple and easy feature to use. It's just sliders, but it's really, really cool. So I'm going to be talking to you and demonstrating how to use they're known as neural filters. And it's something that hasn't been out long, but you need to be connected to the internet in order to use it. And it's because Photoshop uses AI, so artificial intelligence, to actually make the adjustment. Okay, it's all done on their servers, so it's not actually stored within Photoshop. It's really, really cool. And they're actually at the minute beta testing it. There's a couple of different options with these neural filters. What we're going to be looking at tonight is depth aware Haze, which is superb. I've been playing around with it today and it is really, really cool. It's really easy to use and it's so interesting. But it's really interesting to see what Photoshop or Adobe really are doing and moving towards this AI kind of artificial intelligence to help with retouching more and more and more. So to me, it seems like Photoshop, or Adobe rather, not Photoshop, but Adobe are trying to simplify it even more than what it is now. And there's a lot of new features out on it. So I'm going to get to it because it's really, really cool. So like I said, you need to be connected to the internet in order to use this. I know most of you are anyway, so that shouldn't be an issue. So what we're going to do, I've got a shot here of some woodlands, and the reason why I'm showing you this is because it works really well for woodlands, simply because when we're taking pictures like this, to break up the density, we need something to kind of help with that. And Haze fog is a really, really good option to add into these kind of images to break up the bulkiness of the images. If it snows, then again, that helps as well. But Haze is the perfect choice. Now, you can use these filters on portraits and anything else you want as well. But I think for this particular filter, landscapes are, the one to go to. So all you need to do is come up to filter and then come down, and you can see here it says neural filters. So if you click on that, it will load up. And like I said, this is going to Adobe servers. And you can see here, it comes up with this one here, which is skin smoothing, which I've not actually tried yet. But what we're going to do is come down to here where it says beta filters. So we're going to click on that. And this is going to load up the ones that are being worked on at the minute. So they're still refining these. They're still, playing around with them. And you can see that there's all these here. And it's actually quite interesting to see, they've got photo restoration, that they've got dust and scratches, they've got face cleanup, they've even got a face to caricature. You just need to let them know that you're interested, and I'd imagine they would then, start developing these. So we've got cleanup and things like that. Now, what we're looking at is this here, which is depth aware. So all we're going to do is just click on this slider, and that's going to activate it. And it's just added it. Okay, you might not have seen that, but if you come down to here, we've got a before and after. So you can see that's the before and that's the after. And what this does is obviously it adds haze, but it does it and it works out the depth of the image. So it works out, for instance, this tree is there. So it's using Adobe's AI to basically mask out these specific trees to give it depth, hence the name. Now we've got the options up here of what we actually want to do, so we can certainly increase that haze by quite a lot. You can see that it goes up, and like it says here, this filter processing image data is in the cloud. So this is all done in the cloud. It's really quite interesting. We can bring it right down. So if we don't want as much haze, we can bring it down, obviously. So it is literally just a case of moving this slider. You can also warm the image up as well if you want to. So you can push that up and it will start warming up that haze, which would really help, I suppose, with this image. You can also go the other way and cool it down as well. Now this warm feature at the moment, I don't think they've cracked it yet, because you can see here it's added quite a lot of yellow orangey kind of vibe to it. It's not, they've not really got that warm tone to where it should be at the minute, I think. And a lot of other people that are using and testing this agree at the minute that the warm feature is a little bit off at the minute, but I'm sure they'll sort that out soon. And then we've got the brightness, so we can increase the brightness of that haze, and we can decrease it as well. And you can see there, as I increase it, it kind of starts to burn out because we've got such a lot of backlight there. So if I bring that back down, you'll see it will just add it to it again. Now, like I said, remember that this is all done in the cloud. This is all happening on their servers, so none of this is on the computer. But when we come to save this, then it does come to our computer. So what I'm going to do now is just look at the output, and down here you've got a few options. You've got current layer, duplicate layer mask, new layer, and smart filter. Now what's really interesting, if you use it as a smart filter, what that means is that you can come back to this and change it. So if you press OK and then you do some more messing around and you think actually it's too much, you can just come back here and change it. What I'm going to do is duplicate layer mask. I'm going to select that and I'll show you why. So I'm just going to press OK, and then Adobe's going to do all of that in the cloud, and boom, it's done it. Now what's happened is that on my layer panels here, you can see here's the effect. Now if you can't see that, but you should by default, just come to Window and click on Layers, okay, and that will come up, but that should come up anyway. And with this particular filter here, you can see, look, if I take the eye away, you can see what's happening there. Now we can of course bring this opacity down, so we can again adjust it. So if we bring it all the way to 0, that is that's completely taking away that filter, and we go all the way to the top. We can see there that actually I think that's a little bit too strong. So we do have the option of just bringing this opacity down a little bit. Okay. Now because we created a new adjustment layer here, you can see that, or a mask rather, it's white. So if we come over and select the brush tool, make sure it's black, and I just drop the opacity down because I've been playing earlier. Just drop the opacity and the flow down, and then make the brush a little bit smaller by using the bracket keys on your keyboard, or you can come up to here and you can move this as well. I'm going to bring the hardness down a little bit so it's not a hard brush. And now what I can do is just paint out these here. So even though Photoshop has already worked out the depth of these, I can of course add these back in. So I can take that mist away. So I'm kind of painting in these trees and bringing some of these back just to add my own touch to it, I suppose. So like here on this rock here, I wouldn't necessarily have some of this fog or mist along here. So I can pick out parts, and this is going to help again make the image look more three-dimensional. Okay, so we're giving it more depth, but the actual depth effect has already been applied. So we could maybe just pick out, say, this tree here if we wanted to. Okay, but that's not right. That doesn't look right. So I'm going to go back to white. So if you make that mistake, just go to white and you can paint it back in. And it's as simple as that. So we've now applied that filter back in. So this is really looking really, really good. So if we look now, we can see the before and after. So this is the before, so as shot, and then with that filter, the depth aware haze, you can see what a great difference that makes. And it really helps just bind things together, and it just gives everything a little bit more depth. And like I said, Photoshop will work out, it will work out the depth, and it will use its AI to cut out or to mask out rather certain objects. So like some of these trees here, but you do have the option of then masking this yourself and having a lot more control. So you can, you know, you can really take full control. Like for instance here, look, picking out these this sunlight here, this necessarily wouldn't have the haze on it because it would be burning through. So you can pick out a lot more detail here. So you have full control. You really do have full control. And of course you have the opacity as well, which I recommend you use because things with 100% kind of never really have a natural feel to them. So there you have it. That is the new feature within Photoshop. So the neural filters. And like I said, you can see some of the other different options they're working on there, which is really interesting. I'm really excited about them just to see what they're going to be doing and what they're going to be developing. Now, if you want to save this, then you can just literally go File, Save As, and then you can just save it as a Photoshop PSD file if you wanted to. Or if you are definitely finished, you can just go to Layer, Flatten Image, and then just save it however you want. Would that be I usually save these as a TIFF file. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope that you've discovered something new, and I'll be really interested to see your images. Like I said, you don't have to use landscapes on this. It can be done for portraits, be anything really. But I think specifically this is targeted towards these tree kind of images, just because it helps with depth and effect and give you that more three-dimensional look and a lot more control. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I really want to see your images because I think this is a really good asset to your digital photography. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.